ございまして、ハローインターナショナルスクールアッピジャパンにてマーケティングを担当しておりますジェーンと申します。本日はですね、このパネルディスカッション、英語と日本語の2言語で開催ということで、私がですね、通訳を務めさせていただきたいと思います。それではですね、早速始めてまいりたいと思います。今回3部に分けてお届けいたします。まず1部ですね、簡単にではありますけれども、皆さんに学校の魅力をご紹介できたらなということで、各学校短くですね、プレゼンテーションをさせていただきまして、その後ミク校長とアラスタさんでですね、パネルディスカッションの方を移らせていただきまして、最後3部目、皆さんからの質問を受けられる時間を設けられればと思っております。それでは早速ですね、ラグビースクールジャパンさんご紹介いたしましょう。So Laura, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Jane. I'm delighted to be here this morning to talk to you about a school that opened just 2 months ago, Rugby School Japan. We opened as a boarding school and a day school in Kashiwanoha Smart City in Chiba Prefecture, just 30 minutes from Tokyo. Next slide. Thank you. So we have opened as the third school in the rugby school group. Rugby school in the UK is over 460 years old. Rugby school Thailand opened in 2017, and then we opened in Japan 2 months ago. You can see some of the selling points really to us as a school. We are an unashamedly academic school. We really believe in our pupils developing all the skills that they need to go to some of the best universities in the world. We also recruit our teachers from all over the world. Most of our teachers are UK trained, but they have the mindset to bring out the best in our pupils. And in all of our characteristics, we are trying to make sure that our pupils leave our school being future ready, so that they flourish now when they're at Rugby School Japan, but that they have the tools and the skills to be able to flourish in the future. All of that can be summarised in our strapline, which is the whole person is the whole point. To us, it's as simple as that. We want to be ambitious for your children. We want them to succeed and to flourish. Next slide, please. This is our campus. So we opened on time at the beginning of September, and you can see that one of the biggest things is that we've got space. In a boarding school like ours, we want space and time for your children to grow and to develop. And we are built in Kashiwanoha as a smart city, and partnerships with local enterprises and local research groups is really important to us. You can see that we've got lots of purpose-built buildings as well with top facilities. So top left, you can see our rugby pitch because, of course, we take our name from a very famous sport as well. But we follow the British term dates. We have capacity for about half of our pupils to be boarders, but all pupils are members of a boarding house. And I and Alistair will speak about that a little bit later. Next slide, please. So these are some of the photos of the best parts of the school. So top left, we have our dining room, again, purpose-built for communal dining. Lunch is a really important part of the day when all the pupils and the staff eat together. We have a beautiful library, and library lessons are on the timetable for every single pupil in the school because we believe in instilling a love of learning through literature. Our 3G Astro pitch, not just for rugby, but for lots of different sports. We have a school cafe. We have a fantastic 25-metre swimming pool. And then bottom left, you can see some of the architecture. That's part of the study centre. And you can see the space and the greenery that, again, is really important for our pupils growing up in a rich and green environment. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is our educational pathway. We are an unashamedly British curriculum school. We firmly believe in the world-renowned qualifications of the IGCSE and A-levels. And in fact, at A-level, in the sixth form, we encourage all of our pupils to take an extended project qualification, something that is very research-based and that will allow our pupils to excel when they go on to be undergraduates at university. Our lower school curriculum is based on what we call the rugby learner profile. This is about characteristics and skills that we want our pupils to develop so that they will be able to be the best learners in the future. So we want our learners to be resilient, versatile, globally minded, communicators and good collaborators. So we instill that right from the start, and it reinforces the skills that they need at IGCSE and A-level. When we come to the academic side of school life, we want our pupils to know that they've got teachers around them so that who are really supportive, so that when those people say, I want to do this, I have a dream, I have an ambition, our teachers turn around and say, well, why not? And they have that support that they need. Next slide, please. Co-curricular. We call our sports, our clubs, our activities co-curricular rather than extracurricular, because they are just that. They are as important as the academic side that goes on in the learning in the classrooms. So as part of our normal day programme, for every single pupil, they take part in these different academic and visual arts and personal and performance activities. And we think that's really important to enable our pupils to become well-rounded. So there's lots of different choice, and you can see already we've got an orchestra, we've got a choir, we've got lots of artwork going on, lots of sport taking place as well. Next slide, please. So I know that Alistair will speak in a bit more detail about the pastoral and the boarding experience in a little bit, but the pastoral side of school life is all about nurturing your children, and this is important for every single pupil at Rugby School Japan, whether they are a boarder with us or whether they are a day pupil. Very importantly, all of our teachers are also tutors in the boarding house. So your children get to know their teachers really well, and the teachers know your children really well. That partnership between school, home, and the child, that central partnership is really, really important. So we have a whole team of people that pupils can turn to for guidance and for support as needed. Next slide, please. We have three options for being a pupil at Rugby School Japan. So about half of our pupils are boarders. Most are weekly boarders and some are full boarders. Weekly boarders typically arrive on a Monday morning. Some arrive on a Sunday evening, and they stay with us through to Saturday lunchtime. So Saturday morning is compulsory school activities, lessons first thing, and then leadership activities for every single pupil. And then a lot of those pupils then go home for 24, 36 hours with their families. Often they are Tokyo-based families where both parents might be working. And then day pupils make up about half of our population again, and they find the Scuba Express line very easy as a commute on a daily basis. Next slide, please. So that's us in a nutshell. The whole person is the whole point, and we look forward to discussing more with you in due course. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。スライドですね、日本語の翻訳がついておりましたので、通訳の方を割愛させていただきたいと思いますが、投稿もですね、やはりイギリス系の学校というところで共通するところが非常に多くあると思いますので、私のプレゼンテーションの中で先ほどローラ先生がお話しされたことも含めてまたご紹介させていただければと思います。それではハローアッピコのですね、プレゼンテーションに移りましょう。
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's very nice to see you all here, and welcome to those joining us online. My name, as introduced, is Mick Farley. I am the founding headmaster of Harrow International School, Appy, Japan, up in Tohoku in the mountains. I was there this morning, left at 7 degrees, with beautiful red and golden leaves all around me to come down to Tokyo that feels to me like the summertime. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Jane to lead the presentation.
Thank you for opening, Mick. そうですね、当校の初代校長でありますミック校長先生、本日パネラーとしてですねご参加いただいております。当校昨年開校して2年目を迎えた学校になりますが、校長先生開校いたしまして、現在はですね開校した学校を引き続きこれから成長させていくということで新たな校長が就任をしております。次のスライドお願いいたします。当校ですね2年目を無事に迎えることができました。今年約250名の生徒を迎え入れてですね開校いたしましたが、そのうち国籍の割合ですけれども 約 40% がいわゆる日本国籍をお持ちのお子様で、 30% が香港、台湾を含め中華系のお子様、残り 30% 弱が本当その他いろいろで、日本人を含め13の国地域から子どもたちが集まってまいりました。全寮制の学校で、ラグビーさんとは違ってですね、仙台から来ていても盛岡から来ていてもシンガポールから来ていてもですね、必ずここで生活をしながら学校生活を送る皆さんが全寮制生徒になってもらうということで、本当にさまざまな国からですねお越しいただいております。遠いところですとイギリスやカナダ、アメリカ、またオーストラリアといったような国が挙げられております。現在はですね、イヤー7、イギリスの学年で7年生から7、8、9、10、11と生徒たちが学んでおります。日本の学年に換算しますと、小学校6年生からですね、だいたい高校1年生の子たちが現在学びをしていますが、この一番上の高校1年生の子たちが最終的に上がると、来年度から6フォームと呼ばれる高校2、3年生で行われる A レベルのカリキュラムが開校いたしまして、最終的には13年生まで7年間の教育を提供する学校となっていきます。男女両方対象にしたですね学校ですが、イギリス本校ハロースクールの方は現在もなお伝統を引き続き守り男子校になっております。次のスライドお願いいたします。当校ですね、先ほどラグビーさん同様3つのポイントに分けてご紹介できればと思います。まず1つ目、私たちもですね、やっぱり学校の中心に来るのは学力のプログラムになります。世界のトップ大学に入れるだけの学力をしっかりと身につけるために、やはり通常の平常授業、勉強というところは外せない部分となっております。450年以上を持つハロースクールのですね、しっかりとした学力をつけるプログラムを当校も同じものをですね取り入れて、中学生のうちには GCSE または IGCSE のカリキュラム、そして高校2、3年生は A レベルのカリキュラムを提供し、 IB は提供しない学校となっております。そして2つ目ですね、全人教育、本日のトピックですが、ラグビー校さんはWhole Person Education というふうに、人を丸ごと教育する教育というふうに、全人教育というふうに呼ばれていますが、私たちは Holistic Education というふうに、同じ内容なんですけれどもそれぞれですね少し言葉が違ってきますので、本日もしかしたらパネルディスカッションの中で Whole Person Education と Holistic Education 両方耳にされるかと思います。両方とも日本語に訳しますと、全人教育、多面的総合的な教育を行うということで、安比高原の自然を大活用してですね、課外授業と課外活動、これを課外とせずに学校の授業時間に組み込んで必須のプログラムにしております。勉強でしっかり学ぶことはもちろんなんですけれども、やはりこれから世界に出て大学生になって社会人になる上で、子どもたちが必要な力というのは学力だけではないと思います。社会人の皆様ならですね、うんうんとうなずけることだと思いますが、そういったことを中学生高校生のうちから身につけようじゃないかというのがこのイギリス式の教育の特徴になっておりまして、リーダーシップだったりレジリエンスだったりチームワークだったり多様性を身につける理解する力でしたり言語力だったりというところ、この課外活動課外授業を通じて学んでおり、スポーツから芸術、そして社会貢献活動すべてが必須のプログラムとなっております。これ私たち全人教育というふうに呼ばせていただいておりまして、特徴としてはやはり安比高原の秋のゴールデンシーズン、本日ミック先生7度の寒いですね秋からこの東京の真夏に戻ってきましたが、今ちょうど紅葉が始まったゴールドシーズン、そしてもうすぐですね3週間後には雪が降ろうとしております。雪が降ってからのホワイトシーズン、3月末または4月までスキーができるのが安比高原の特徴です。長いホワイトシーズンを経て夏休み前の緑豊かなグリーンシーズン、それぞれシーズンごとにですね、ゴルフ、テニス、マウンテンバイクや、また冬の間はスキー、スノーボードといったスポーツを通じて健康な体を作り上げることで健康なマインドセットも一緒にですね育成しております。そして最後3つ目、全寮制であるということです。みんなが一緒に生活をしながらホームシックになってもお互い喧嘩をしてもですね離れず同じ家で暮らすことによって深め合える関係性というのがあります。こういった絆は一生ものの絆となって、子どもたちに多様性の理解や違った異文化の人たちと住む難しさと、お互いどのように協働し合うのかというようなスキルを身につけるほかにですね、 一生もののネットワークということで、きっと社会人になってからも彼らの人生を支えるネットワークがこの若いうちから形成されております。でもちろん寮長先生が各ハウス、女性寮が2つ、男性寮が2つとですね、今年ありますので、各ハウスに分かれて先生たちのサポートのもと、深い絆を信頼関係を築き合って、子どもたちの学びをより強いサポートを提供しております。ということで簡単に学校の紹介とさせていただきましたが、ではここから本日のメインテーマでありますパネルディスカッションに移りたいと思います。Now I would like to move to the main topic, the panel session today. Our founding headmaster Mick Farley will be taking lead from Harold International School Autumn, Japan, and also Alistair will be taking the lead from Rugby School Japan. So let me propose the first question. では次のスライドですね、お願いいたします。すいません、飛びますね。すいません、いくつか飛ばせていただいて、パネルディスカッションの質問のところにお願いします。はい、次の、ところでお願いします。まず最初ですね、全人教育、Whole Person Education、Holistic Education というふうに、お互い学校紹介の中で出てきましたが、イギリス教育におけるこの全人教育って一体何なのかということをお聞きしたいと思います。
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alastar Falzon. I am at the house master of the boys' house at Rugby School Japan, in essence, responsible for guiding them through the journey that they are on whilst they're at school. And when it comes to holistic education, how do I define that? I think it's, in essence, a comprehensive approach to nurturing pupils' complete development. This idea of equipping them with the skills, with the knowledge and values that we would like them to take into their future life to lead fulfilling lives and to have a positive impact on the people who they connect with in the future.
ですね、現在寮長先生、男性寮を担当しておりますアリスター先生ですけれども、この寮生の学校において全人教育とは何なのかといったときに、この教育を通じて目指しているのは、子どもたちがですね、総合的多面的に成長することで、将来世界に出て活躍するのに必要な力でしたり、スキルでしたり、または価値観ですね、自分の人生を導いてくれる価値観ですとか、また自分の指針を決めていく、何でしょう、判断基準といったものを養う、そういった準備をできる教育だというふうに思っております。
I suppose you might ask how do we go about that? I suppose we look in particular at character development. Yes, academic excellence is extremely important, but I believe that the development of the character is what holistic education is all about. You can develop character in a number of ways, whether that is in the classroom, but certainly outside of it, on the co-curricular front, within the boarding house environment, in your day-to-day life, for example, in celebrating the successes of others, or learning from your own mistakes or the mistakes of others. This is all part of developing resilience and part of developing empathy. And this ability to work and live with others in a really kind community. These are the kinds of values that we look to instill through holistic education.
では実際にですね、どのようにしてこの全人教育を行っているのか、How の部分に入っていきましたけれども、もちろん学力しっかりつけていくと他に、やはり教室の外での学びが多いというふうに思っております。お子様一人一人にですね、人格と個性の形成、それが授業の外、教室の外で行われる教育の大事な役割だというふうに思っております。なので課外活動、課外授業などを通して、または寮生活のコミュニティとともにですね、生活を通じてレジリエンスだったり多様性を理解する力でしたり、またお互いを共感しながらコミュニティを形成していく協働力といったところですね、寮の教育の部分で大事だというふうに思っております。
I'd like to applaud Alistair for everything he's just said. I'm in total agreement. Very well put.
そうですね、ミク校長も本当にハローアピ校としてですね、同じことをそのまま繰り返させていただきたいというふうに共感しております。
So perhaps to just layer a little bit more detail on top of Alistair's comments, holistic education essentially means the development of the whole child, girl or boy. So not just the academic scholar, but the student who has interests beyond the academic curriculum, be it music and other creative endeavours, be it adventurous or more traditional sport.
そうですね。具体例本当に共感した上で具体例をいくつか挙げさせていただきたいと思いますが、もちろん勉強で自分の学問を探求してですね、専門性を深めるということももちろんですけれども、それ以外にお子様一人一人に自分の興味や才能というものがあると思います。音楽だったり芸術だったりですね、スポーツかもしれないし、その他いろんなことを子どもたち興味を持ちますが、そういった一人一人の興味をですね広げてあげるというのも全人教育で大事だというふうに考えております。
Schools like Rugby School Japan and Harrow International School Appy invest an enormous amount in giving students a very broadly enriched school life. So not just their academic studies, but a wide range of sports, clubs, academic interests beyond the classroom, house activities. It's a very big investment. It needs people, it needs facilities, it needs equipment, and we invest heavily to give students these broader opportunities.
またラグビースクールハロー安比校共通する部分としてですね、子どもたちにこういった才能や視野を広げる教育に費やす多大な時間をかけているというところ、実際にカリキュラムの中に組み込んでですね、時間を確保しているというところと、リソースですね、優秀な先生やまたそれができる教育施設が整っているところというのも他の学校と比べてお互いユニークな点だというふうに思っております。
We don't just do that because it's good fun. It often is good fun, but we do it, as Alistair's already indicated, to develop the broader young person, their character, their behaviours, their attributes and their values.
Anything you'd like to add before I translate?
You go ahead and translate.
Okay. そうですね。本当に子どもたち一人一人に合ったですね、個性を見つけるのに本当に視野をまずは広く広げていくというところですね、大事にしています。
Just to finish before I hand over to Alistair, for a long time in this part of the world, academic attainment has been very highly valued. Great academic outcomes have been seen as the pathway to success at university and beyond. This is an increasingly competitive and connected world in which we live. Students going to top schools get top grades. And the secret of holistic education is to develop in our young graduates behaviours and attributes that really allow them to engage and get the most out of their education at school, but more importantly at university and beyond. So the grades can get the university place, but it's the whole child, the characters and experiences of the child that actually allow them to get the most out of university education and in their working life beyond.
また全人教育の中でアカデミックの部分もすごく大事だというふうにですね、お互いポイントとして挙げられましたけれども、やはりトップ大学にこれから進学、視野に入れている子どもたち、こういった大学に出願してくる子たち、皆さんがですね素晴らしい成績を持って出願してくるわけで、そこでどこで違いをつけるのかといったときに、やはりこの全人教育の部分が養っているその子のさまざまな多様な視野の広い経験だったり、多様性の理解だったり、リーダーシップスキルだったりというところがですね、この大学に入るにあたって、また入ってからも子どもたちに力になるので、そこも大事にしております。
I'd like to echo everything that Mick has said there. And when we talk about attributes, we are trying to instill emotional, social, physical and moral growth in all of our pupils. Ultimately, when we're competing for top university places, we would like our pupils to show that they have intellectual curiosity, that they are compassionate, that they have the ability to adapt under challenging circumstances, that they have resilience. And I think everything that we do in the kinds of school that we are is all aimed at this idea of the whole person, and this idea of moral growth, of showing qualities like commitment, integrity, tolerance, respect. These are what are really developed under holistic education.
そうですね、寮生のまたは全寮制の学校で全人教育を行うにあたって学校が責任を担っているのは子どもたちの学力だけではありません。人としてですね、人格形成だったり社会的スキル、コミュニケーションだったり正しいモラルや判断力を持つことでしたり、または違った経験や環境にどんどん自分を適応させてそこで成長していく力だったりというふうに、これからですね世界に出ても必要な力を子どもたちにしっかりと身につけた上で卒業させてあげるということを私たちはすごく大事にしております。時間が迫ってきましたので I'd like to quickly move on to the next point and hopefully we can get one or two questions from the floor. The second point is this is also a unique keyword to British international school or school as well. パストラルケアというですねキーワードが実はイギリス系の学校にはとてもたくさん出てきますが、パストラルケアとはそもそも何ぞや、これがですね全人教育との関係が何があるのでしょうかというところです。Alistair, would you like to start?
Pastoral care, it's, I suppose, a dedicated support system that leads to the development of well-being amongst all our pupils, focuses on their emotional well-being, on their personal growth. But I think the key to pastoral care is the fact that our pupils have a team around them who are friendly, professional, dedicated, and they provide guidance to the pupils in their journey through school.
そうですね、パストラルケアの内容としては子どもたちの成長、若いこの10代の子たちの成長において感情の変化や思いの変化、考え方の変化といった人間的なですね成長が見られるところを一番近くで寄り添ってですねプロのチームがチームとなってサポートをする、これがパストラルケアだと思います。友達のように優しく、時には保護者のように厳しくですね、本当一人一人に寄り添って与えるケアのことを私パストラルケアだと思っております。
If you think about one child, around that child, it's a collaboration with family. And then you've got your tutor who guides the pupil on a day-to-day basis. Then there are residential staff like the house assistant who is there to help with any kind of well-being issues or medical issues, followed by teachers, academic teachers, resident tutors, myself as a housemaster, the nursing team. There is a community around every child focused on personal support for that child. And ultimately, that is what pastoral care is all about.
I again completely agree and echo to what you said. I think we can fully agree with that. Before I translate, therefore, would you like to add a few more things so that we can move to Q&A session?
Yes, so also you can hear me better now. Important to understand that Harrow Appy is a full boarding school. All boys and girls are full boarders 7 days a week. That means that the relationship that develops between each student and their house mistress or their house master, the HM as we call it, becomes extremely important and very intense. And it does mean that if there's an issue, not if, when there is an issue, all boys and girls have issues in their education and as they grow through adolescence. Whether it's a friendship issue or something going wrong with maths study, very quickly there can be an adjustment and an intervention that will be effective because it's individualised to the needs of that child. In Harrow speak, we call that close personal tutoring. Very, very powerful because of the depth of the relationship that exists between the student, the HM, and the other beaks, the other teachers.
そうですね、まずこのパストラルケアの特徴としてチームで行われるというふうにアリサ先生おっしゃっておりました。アリサ先生の寮長先生をはじめとしてですね、各ハウスにチューターの先生という子どもたちの寮のサポートをするスタッフがですね、各学校つきます。で、また子どもたちの面倒を見るチューターの先生、アカデミックのチューターというのがですね、子ども一人一人についてその子の学習の進捗状況を科目を横断してですね把握する先生がおります。また子どもたちの健康を管理するですね保健室の先生、ナースの先生がいたりですとか、または普段の生活の面倒を見てくれているサポートのアシスタントの先生がいたりと、いろんな大人が子どもたちの成長に学校に関わっていくわけ ですけれども、これをチームを組んで、何でしょうね、チーム医療というふうに考えていただければ、一つのがんの先生がんだけ見るのではなく、いろんなチームで見ることによって早めにですね、子どもたちの問題を察知し、その問題が何なのか的確にその問題を認識して、その問題に一番適切なサポートを与えられるのがこのパストラルケアチームで行われるサポートの強さだというふうに思っております。それを当校はですね、あえて全寮制という形でハローアピコの場合は提供することを日本校を開校するにあたって決断をいたしました。というのもやはりお家に帰らない難しさがありながらも、やはり先生たちが朝から晩までですね、学校がある間、子どもたちが目が覚めている間ですね、一日中ずっとそばで面倒を見てられるからこそケアできる部分があるというふうに思っております。ハローインターナショナルスクールですね、これまで11校開校する中で全てが通学生と寮生と混ぜてやってきたんですけれども、ハロースクールイギリス母校は全寮制という体制で450年やってまいりました。やはりそこの良さですね、私たちもあるなと思った上で、日本校は全寮制という形で開校いたしました。ということで時間が迫ってまいりましたので、1問、はい、ありがとうございます。許可を得ました。1問ですね、お伺いしたいと思います。お願いいたします。I think we question like.
Thank you. I have a question for Mr. Mick Furry. Thank you for flying over to Tokyo. I hope you feel a bit warmer here. So I'm aware that Harrow International School has originated in Britain, but the Apis branch I heard it's reportedly owned by Chinese businessman Mr. Luo of Laos. And it's also managed by his family. So is it true? Please correct me if I'm wrong. That's the first question. And if so, secondly, in this situation, how do you maintain the sound educational system with British origin, including the whole person education, independent of possible interference from the management team? Thank you.
Thank you for this important question. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to join you in very warm Tokyo. I'm also very pleased to correct you. The school actually is operated by Harrow International, quality assured by Harrow London. Mr. Law, the owner of the Laux electronics outlet, is the landlord. He owns the resort. So he built the school to our Harrow specification and Harrow standards and is our landlord. He does not operate the school. Harrow International operates the school. Pleased to be able to answer that. But we can take this offline and have some questions.
そうですね。今日ラグビー校とハロー校両方揃っておりますので、一問なんかそれぞれ各学校で答えられるご質問を受けさせていただいて、メディア関係者の方この後ですね、終わってから後ほどご対応させていただければと思います。どうでしょう。はい、お願いいたします。
Thank you for the presentation. I thought both schools are really great school. I have a question to both schools. If a student wishes to go to the schools in UK, is it possible to go to UK schools if they enter in the Japanese school?
So Harrow Appy is part of the Harrow family. There are 12 schools in the Harrow family, including Harrow in the UK. Yes, the answer is you've clearly spent time in the UK. I hear from your accent, actually.
Yes, when I was a little girl,
I
lived in London, so about 5 years, so maybe a little bit British accent.
Good for you. It's a
Thank
fine
you.
city. So there is there are many opportunities for collaboration and exchange within the Harrow family, including a Year 9 exchange all around the family, so including students travelling to London. There's also a leadership conference for the lower sixth for 16-year-olds hosted at Harrow School in the UK. In terms of transfer, I think is slightly where you're going in your question. Yes, there has been history of transfer from Harrow International Schools to Harrow in the UK. An example would be my best swimmer when I was the headmaster, not in Harrow Appy, but in Harrow Bangkok, ended up as a swimming scholar in Harrow in the UK. Very typically, students would transfer at sixth form though the other obvious opportunity is at the beginning of Year 9, which is the commencement of Harrow in the UK's educational provision. It's not a given, it's not a direct transfer, there are admissions requirements and they're rigorous, but we, let's say, get special treatment as a student applying from within the family.
Thank you. And very similarly, the ability to transfer permanently to a different school would have to go. The people would have to go through an admissions process, and rightly so. But we know that at the end of this coming academic year, there is an exchange between Rugby School UK and Rugby School Thailand, and we hope that in the next academic year, that Thailand will be part of that exchange as well. And similarly to what Mr. Farley has said, there are lots of competitions within the Rugby School group and opportunities for collaboration through debate, for example, where we have a debate chamber at our school and we can debate with the team in the UK through the online platforms and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Since time has come, I would like to give each school opportunity for like a last quick message to parents and also audience.
Just to say thank you very much for hosting us as Rugby School Japan. We are 2 months old, but still enjoying the buzz of our opening year. And we're very keen to continue the conversation with you if you are considering our school for your child. And we look forward to speaking with you perhaps at our booth a little bit later. Thank you.
I'd like to express my appreciation as well. The campus setting up in Api in Iwate-ken is sublime. It's a great privilege to live in that natural environment. Walking out across Shibuya Crossing this morning was quite a shock. This is a wonderful city, and I strongly recommend you visit us in Harrow Api to understand the educational values of being educated in that natural environment.
ありがとうございました。Thank you so much for both schools today for joining. It was a really productive panel session. Thank you so much.